I want to shift a little bit into how you broke into FAANG because a lot of people they want to break into these companies. They want to get this 300,000 plus PM AI agents job. So let's start with your own story. How did you break into AI at Microsoft? I believe this was back in 2016.
Yeah, no, I think very good question, right? So I think first is having an intuition for a new technology. I had that. I was working in Azure IoT, and I thought maybe this idea that you can, instead of hard coding or doing logic based programming, this whole ML thing will be a cool thing. But as you may all be feeling, that it's not easy to enter. There are barriers of terms like, gradient descent, local minima, math. You need to be this researchy scientist. It was even worse in 2016. And for me, I just wanted it so desperately that I started hanging out around Microsoft Research Campus. I offered my services on Friday, Saturday for free. And then I came up with one idea of building a Vision AI dev kit, which was a camera that can inference on edge but train in cloud. And I offered that to our Azure machine learning team. And I was a dev then, and they said, you need to test. And in Microsoft, if they tell you to test, it's not a good deal. But I took anything. I said, yeah, I will test it. And in 3 months, some people dropped something. I took on that code, then code. And eventually I became the TL for that. I shipped that product end to end. And that was my story. I was the guy who actually built Vision AI Dev Kit and shipped it end to end to production. Satya took it in our 2017 or 2018 build on stage. And after that, it's just a story from there. I knew a lot of things like I knew how chips acceleration work. I knew different architectures. I knew how to train them in cloud. I knew how to optimize them to run on small hardwares. And after that, it's just iterations. And I think after that, it just becomes like once it's like a marathon where a lot of people run with you. And if you get to do the first good project, you get a good lead. And from there, you can run the marathon correctly or without like running into people or getting stopped every 5 minutes because nobody's moving in front of you. So, my two tips out of my own experience is be ruthless and passionate. Take anything that's coming in ML and AI your way or create your own paths. And once you have them, don't take them for granted. Work twice or three times harder once you have those opportunities. And I'm pretty sure it will change your life. It has changed mine since I was able to double my salary every other year after that.
Wow, that's insane. Talk us through how you made it from dev to PM.
You have really good questions for me. Ah, so, so I was when I was doing this Vision AI kit, I also realized this another insight, which was in AI. I believed that building things will get easier and easier, but what to build and how to work closely with customers to build the right thing would be an skill or would be thing that will save a lot of time for organizations or developer time. And to be honest, I hated like what PMs did because they could just tell me and then I have to spend 6 months and I couldn't like question a lot. So, but I found them like little vague. So I don't never wanted to get into PMs, but the stakes were so high for me that I did like two iterations and things didn't work out. And I don't want to blame anyone. So I said, okay, let me figure out. And my God, it's so hard to figure out what's the right thing to build. It's super easy when somebody tells you what to build it. But figuring out what is the right thing to build, especially for a large company when the stakes are higher and your role is little, like you get into L7 levels, uh, you're playing with at least 300 to 400 people's life and you're almost playing with 50 to $60 million worth of decisions you are making. So why I started out because I wanted to make sure that we are building the right things. And I think what I loved about it is learning how to build the right things, which I'm still trying to figure out.
How do you architect that internal transfer though? Some people they just get stuck in the engineering ladder, they can't make it into the product management ladder.
Oh yeah, I think that's a very good question. And I seen that. I seen a lot of my friends who actually wanted to become PMs, but nobody like made it. And I was trying to stay back. And the PM manager actually said, Mahesh, I want you in my team. Can you join my team? And I said, no, I can't join your team because my visa has this, prime, all the thing that happened in US. But he kept pushing, insisting on me. And why? To answer your question, because I was super passionate about customers. I was working backward from there. I was there to solve the problems. I could prototype real quickly. And I cared about business. I cared about making money for the company. I cared about what will matter when all AI dust will settle. And that was 2018. This is not like now it's just a storm, not dust. But I cared about these three things, which is, hey, are we building the right thing for our customers? Is it going to make money for us? And how can we bring people together to build it? And I think these three skills were essential for being a successful PM. And if you show that to people, if you do that without given that, it does require time, effort, and energy, to be honest, because I need to still code. But I went ahead and did that anyways because I wanted to code which will matter, not code which will things won't matter. So I think those three things, and if you are struggling, start doing these three things, which means writing a lot about what is the problem, how many. Just don't write PRDs because your PM friends will get offended, but write your customer insight. So I had this customer insight newsletter I started,
Oh,
and
wow.
because I was debugging each customer problem with Vision AI Dev Kit, I will write as if like I talk to them. This is their problem. This is the model they are using. This is why this fails. This is what our system have gaps. This is what AI as a whole has gaps, and that's why I just patched it right now. But this could be the next thing for us. One example of that is Onyx. Like we build it means you don't know what to build because you're cool, you're a new PM. So we said, you know what, we're going to kill Nvidia and we're going to build it on Intel chips. So when I went to Azure Stack, which is this idea that you can run AI on premise rather than sending everything to cloud. That time we were dealing with government contracts, and we took Intel FPGA chips for that design, not Nvidia. And then I learned quickly that these architectures, like uh, that time we were doing vision models, so MobileNet, YOLO, and each time there was a new architecture comes, Intel can't catch up, and it works out of box in NVIDIA. So I wrote these, and then we came up with this idea of Onyx, which is Open Neural Network Exchange. And the idea is that Microsoft built a layer which allowed any architecture to automatically done accelerated computing across any chips. So you can train a model in TensorFlow or PyTorch. You can convert it into Onyx that Microsoft provides you a open source open source framework, and then this model can run on any hardware accelerated, and you or the cloud provider need not to do any specific thing. So once you start making these kind of contributions, you can actually nobody will like stop you. Either you're going to become a PM or you're going to become a GM through engineering ladder, because people want people who are taking broader impact and broader challenges than what is given to them. Small
Love
prompt,
this.
long response.
And then after that, you worked at so many of the other FAANG places, Meta, Amazon, Google. How are you cracking all of these FAANG interviews in PM?
Oh, I think once it was very hard, to be honest, right? I was born in Microsoft. I was supposed to die in Microsoft. It's such a Microsoft is such a family, right? Because it's especially on this side of the Lake Washington. It's on this side, Seattle on the other side, in Seattle. So in Redmond, if you live in Microsoft bubble, which is you go to restaurants where all Microsoft people, you go to the gym with Microsoft people, all your friends and all your kids' friends are Microsoft, and it's just hard to leave that place. Uh, so first time when Facebook reached out for me, I thought at that time I was working on inference, which is like how can you run these models, but I wanted to go into training, and they had an awesome opportunity for me. So that time it took a lot of time. But after that, I think, to be honest, AI has done a great deal for me. I had these accept a different skill set, which was in demand across these like 4 or 5 years where I've done these transitions. So I would say that played one role. Second role is that I was able to just articulate well my stories, show scale, show how I handle ambiguity. And third, this never giving up attitude, which I think these companies are hungry for. Because once you enter these companies, the people there are just too hard to work with and things don't move fast. And if you can say that I'm going to come and make things go fast, these PM managers are hungry for you, especially in AI, because everybody had that FOMO pressure. And this guy knows what to be built, what we can build. And he has done an iteration outside and he's hungry. He is impatient. These three, I think, just made it so easy for me.
Okay. And how did you get so good at the PM interview though? Like the PM interview, case interviews, what was your approach to that?
I think I watched all your series, all your read all your blogs.
Awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think just I know I truly I followed you and others, and I was able to like at least keep like what's out there. There is a lot of good content or summary, but I generally I don't stop in LinkedIn. I take what you guys post and then I look at the links and I read them. Like I was reading, there's another guy named Lenny, I think. Uh, and he posted this AI jobs, and then I was trying to figure out, okay, what's the trends look like? Is this going to be the right thing for us for the economy? And then I read more like 5 reports. So I think staying on top of this, that's one thing I would suggest. And don't do your own research. Let people like Akash, Lenny work for you, so that you can get from an abstract form and then scale it to your own world. So that's one thing I would suggest. Second, I think just having stories where you show these three things, which is scale, ambiguity, and what is your impact on business, and show it, say it succinctly, and let the interviewer run your interview, but land these ideas. And third is just having an opinionated view on things. I think was helpful for me. Like, don't be a pushover. If they push you, just say. I mean, I'm very respectful and I'm very like I listen to them, but I try to say why I thought. And you can go with me like 3 levels down, and I will be able to tell you that my fundamentals, my model of the world is not very bad.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
then you can say, okay, maybe in this case he might be right.
And going back to your very first, at the very beginning of the conversation, you've developed, I can build AI, I can build it at scale. And so that's those foundational experiences allow you when they're pushing you in the interviews to just go
Yeah.
3 levels deep where other people might not be able to. So you worked at all these companies. How would you compare them? How would you compare Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, and Google? Which one is best for which people?
I think that's a great question. Ah, it's hard, but let me give it a shot. So what happens is, yeah, I will tell you what like I loved about each company. Okay, so let's start with Microsoft. So Microsoft is a dreamland for people who want to go build without caring how it will make business. I don't know. It just ingrained in Microsoft to just innovate without figuring out how will we make money. That's the opposite of that is Amazon. If you are working in AWS specifically, you have to be very clear how you're going to make money, because if you want to be a PM, if you want to build a lot and try taking a lot of shots, then go to Microsoft. If you want to be a PM who owns profit and loss statements, who actually cares a lot about business and ready to die for that $1 thing and execute at speed of light, go to Amazon or AWS specifically AWS AI teams. So much fun there for that one aspect, but they won't let you innovate a lot. That's the downside. That brings you to Meta. Meta is a company where you will go if you want to innovate a lot with the right amount of people. Uh, Here, one thing that I still remember is the TLs there are world class,
Oh,
and they will come to you and say, "Tell me what you want me to build." And you say, "Dude, I'm not sure. I have these like 3 ideas, and all are like 20%." I'm sure that they are successful. They will be successful based on interactions I had. He said, can you give me one and I will build it? And then you can launch it. And then if it doesn't succeed, I won't even tell my manager. And they will run these, they will take on these experiments. They will build it over the weekend. I will be able to launch it on some sample set. And if it works, all they want you to from you is create a post and publish it. And then they will keep coming to you. But if you can't give them good ideas, if you fail 3 times back to back, they're going to the other PM and they never come back to you. And that's your death in AI world if you're working for Meta. So Meta is a place where you want to have good uh, iterations and working with great people to do the next level thing. And also never worry about money inside Meta. They have a lot of like, I felt, at least I was there before like this whole, squeeze and everything. So it's a very rich company and it's an awesome company inside. Outside, people think badly about, whatever they do. But inside, it's a very homely and awesome company. And you go there to build latest technology, whatever it could be. If metaverse, if tomorrow quantum becomes a thing, they will be able to catch up. So if you want to stay on the edge of things, go to Meta. And last one, I will give you Google. Google is an awesome company for user experience. Uh, they just are obsessed on user experience. If you want to learn how you serve anything on user experience, there's so many experts there, like what a copy should look like, where a button should go, what happens from this screens to this screen, and how can we create magic between this experience, even if there is a 5-second delay. They are obsessed on that. And second is they give you a lot of time. So it's like Microsoft, but they care about money and user experience. So if you add little bit of money, less money, not like crazy like Amazon.
Amazon.
So little bit of little bit money, but a lot about user experience. So I think you want to go work for Google. I
Okay.
hope that helps.